All right, we are back and we are live, and we do not have a scheduled guest, so we are going to be doing for the next 20 minutes the Voices of ISTE. So we'd love to hear your experience. We'd love to hear some of the things that you've enjoyed from ISTE. We are live, not only here in the hall, here online at our X Factor podcast. We're excited to have our first Voice of ISTE. And I got a new bracelet thanks to her. Kat, welcome to Stronger Together. Open mic, I guess, open mic night, mic day. So for those who are listening online, who are listening walking by, share a little bit of who you are and the work that you do.
Absolutely, thank you. I'm Kat Crawford, and you can find me at Dramatic Kat. I work with the Schlechte Center, and I'm the Executive Director of Digital Innovation. And a lot of my work has been done in restorative practice for students in confinement, a focus on engagement, and really helping to redesign alternative schools inside of public districts.
Wonderful. So what has been your favorite experience so far of ISTE?
Oh, that is a great question. I have to say that last night I went to a Google event and it blew my mind. They announced the Google champions and had this massive explosion that was really shocking and entertaining. And it was a little bit of an Oprah moment. Everybody had these medals underneath their chairs. And so that was kind of exciting.
So how many ISTEs have you gone to?
This is actually my third. I was back here in 2019. That was my first ISTE. And then I was in NOLA last year.
Do you have any advice to people that are coming to ISTE for the first time?
Oh my goodness. Yes, absolutely. I would say you definitely want to think about what you're carrying around with you. Because bags can get heavy with all the swag you pick up, and get a hotel very close. That is the biggest thing. Like, we have had it where I'm going to tell you a story that's kind of funny. My first ISTE, I was invited to come here by Google 2 weeks before ISTE. They were publishing a report on some work I was doing in juvenile justice. And they were like, hey, our report's coming out. Can you come do the teaching theater? And I was like, sure, no problem. And I show up and there is literally not a hotel to be found. And so I had to stay for the entire week in a hostel about 30 minutes from here.
Wow. So you talked about some of that work. Can you dive into some of the work you were just sharing about that absolutely. I know you are very passionate about?
Well, thank you. Yes. So I get a unique opportunity to really dive into the alternative schools inside of school districts and look at the sort of design and the system, the way that it functions, and help them kind of redesign for student success. And sometimes that involves literally following a student from the minute a discipline action happens all the way to when they re-enter back into their home school, and giving them sort of advice on that user's journey. Meeting with the parents and the community stakeholders and the teachers and the admin, and having a conversation about what is sort of repairing, what is restorative justice. Because often what we find is that students leave their home school for a disciplinary action and they just sit in another school for 30 or 40 days. Nothing happens other than they're not in their school, and then they come back. And so we really want to make sure that we're addressing the needs of that student and really going in to do that repair work. So when they come back, they can be successful. And if a student is what we like to call a frequent flyer, who maybe has been there 4 or 5 times, then we need to look at our process and say, something is wrong here. This maybe isn't the best environment for this kid, or this process isn't helping them, and really redesign to make sure that all students can be successful.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for stopping in, being our first person to stop in for the Voice of ISTE. And our second person doesn't even know she signed up for it, but she's coming in. So before you get off the camera, can you tell people where to find you?
Yes, absolutely. I actually am at Dramatic Cat on all platforms. And if you go down and you're here live at ISTE at 4 o'clock, I'll be doing a session called Behind the Bars.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And meeting for the first time, although she has illustrated many of the books from X Factor, she doesn't know she's coming on camera as we speak. The amazing, come on up. This is a live podcast. We are live filming. Go on that camera. We are live here. This is how I roll. Welcome to introducing yourself to me. And Jen, welcome to the Stronger Together podcast.
Hi.
You didn't know this was, when you texted, you're like,
No.
Meet me outside of Hall C. I'm like, oh, this is going to be perfect. So I won't keep you on long because I know this is what you signed up for, but you are an amazing educator and illustrator, and we have to promote the work you're doing. So if you could share who you are, some of the work you're doing, and where people can find you.
Sure. So I'm a person that has trouble taking compliments, but thank you. I like to draw stuff. My name is Jen Lieben. My origin story is that I was an art teacher. So that's where the drawing comes from. I was an art teacher for 13 years. Then I was a tech teacher, and this was all at middle school, tech teacher for 6 years and an elementary librarian for 1 year. Before I left to do what I do now, which is an instructional technology coach, and I'm in the state of Illinois. I'm in the Chicago suburbs, South Cook County, and I love my job. It's the best job ever. I get to go into classrooms, be the fun grandma, the fun aunt, do all the fun projects, and then like later's on out of the room. So
nice,
it's amazing. But on the side, I draw. So illustrating books is my hobby, and it's all just kind of come about through networking and connections and being at these types of events. You meet people and they're like, I'm writing a book, and somebody's like, I know someone who's, and it just kind of happened that way. My first book was a early elementary coding book, like geared towards girls. And then I was approached by Jaritza to do Mackenzie's Time Machine books, and then that worked out well. So then we did Mackenzie's Bisabuela. So that's been fun, mostly because I've learned a lot. So it's been really, it was a challenge for me because I had to research a bunch to do these. And it was, I actually really enjoyed it because not to be cliche, but I'm a lifelong learner and I like to learn things. But no, so that's really fun. And then currently I'm working on another book because I have trouble saying no. Which is why I'm on this podcast right now.
Well, I had the mic. You didn't know you were coming here. You didn't have an option to say no. I could have just continued to talk and say no.
Voluntold.
Voluntold. Thank you for taking the risk to stop up. Thank you for the work you do. I am so blessed to have you as part of our team and illustrating our books. But now I want to get a chance to really meet you, grab a picture. So, Rob, I'm going to turn the mic over for you to see if you can wrangle up somebody for our next Voice of ISTE.
Wrangle random folks.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome by. If you'd like to come by and say hello, we have open spots on our podcast. Go sit in that chair.
What?
Go sit in that chair.
I'll get a picture.
Go sit in that chair. You're volunteer after the picture. After the picture.
Awesome. O'Brien, I don't know. She'll be back here. Okay. She'll respond to your text. I know she has something a lot in
I would just love to hear you say hello.
Yes, well, thank you for all you're doing.
Can I have my friend Nicole come by?
Oh, yes. Jump on, Nicole.
Are we live right now?
Look at the camera. Hi, guys. So I'd like to welcome my guest at this moment, Nicole from TEQ. Nicole, say hello.
Hello.
So Nicole, is this your first live ISTE event?
This is my first live ISTE event, and this is my first live podcast.
Well, welcome to the podcast. How are you enjoying ISTE?
It's been so much fun. It's so cool to see all of the different vendors represented and all of the great sessions and the content. It's been so wonderful.
So happy that you're here. You were my personal choice to come to ISTE.
Thanks,
So I'm
Rob.
glad to have you here. Now that you've experienced a little bit of ISTE, what advice would you give to a first-time ISTE person next year?
I would definitely say scope out the ISTE website, come up with a game plan for yourself because it is an overwhelming place. There's so many great sessions going on, so many wonderful vendors that are here. So giving yourself like a little to-do list of places you definitely want to hit is a good thing to have.
And I know that you wear a lot of hats with the company and you do a lot of things, but I know one of the things you're most proud of is the creation of iBlocks for the company. Can you just give us a little idea of what an iBlock is and why it's so important?
Yeah, sure. So iBlocks are our project-based learning supplemental curriculum that it's kind of been one of my babies here at Tech. And it takes students through the engineering design process, over 10 modules. We provide a lot of support to teachers around really cool, engaging topics like tiny houses, going through learning about global population increases and how tiny houses might be a solution for efficiency, taking students through a real world problem and giving them a great capstone project to support around that. And then all the support that we provide teachers, we've spent so many hours creating great responses and then also supporting them in other ways.
Awesome. Well, before we let you off the hook and see if we can wrangle up our next voice of ISTE before our next podcast interview in about 10 minutes. So you do a lot of virtual professional development. So you're behind the camera a lot versus in front of, physical students in class. What's the strategy for those looking to do some virtual professional development? Because that's very different than being in front of a room or doing a presentation. So I know we have virtual ISTE, and I'm sure there's going to be more of those options and opportunities. So what would you say is one of the strengths that you would share from others doing that?
Sure. So I think a couple of really important things, one of which is providing really good takeaways for teachers to have from it. So having them be able to access resources and things after the fact is something that they always love to have, but also keeping that engagement piece because they're not physically present with you. You have to take your engagement to a different level. So engaging them in chat, engaging them in some type of way where they're able to put their responses in, whether it be a discussion thread, things like that. Even if you're not able to stop and pause so that they can respond in person, but just having that real engagement piece.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for stopping in. Thank you for the work
Thanks
that you
for
do.
having me, guys.
Yeah, there's a third person who didn't know they were jumping on. That's what we're doing for this session because somebody canceled. So we are now in the hunt for our next voice of ISTE. So somebody would love to come on and share the work that they're doing, share an experience with all of us today, being live. I see y'all looking over here. I know you want to come over.
Don't be shy.
Who's next? Who's next? Oh, we got a lot of turnarounders.
Go.
All right. Yeah, it's live. We're recording it. Sit down.
Live and
You're
recorded.
live.
Yeah. So tell us who you are and what you do in the profession.
Yeah, my name's Stephen Mayer. I'm an account executive for a company called Gridless Power. We're located in Pennsauken, New Jersey. And we design off-grid security and communications boxes for, why we're here today is use cases like schools, athletic fields, campuses, anywhere where there's a weakness in power and communications, we can come in, solar-powered communications box, slip in a SIM card, activate it, you're good to go. Completely self-powered and no infrastructure. So
Awesome. So what booth are you in?
we're actually partnered with T-Mobile, so find us at the
find us at T-Mobile.
T-Mobile booth. Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for
That's
jumping on. Great stuff. And thanks for taking the risk. We got another you coming on up. You got to come on over there. I like it.
There you go.
Oh, I love this.
There you go. So tell us who you are. And I saw you walk by looking back. You're like, I do want to do this, but
I'm not Zach Galifianakis. Let's just get that clear right now, okay?
Plumber. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not signing any autographs.
Who are you?
I'm a chief creative officer of UX Media. We have over 100 employees. We do massive educational video projects. I created a sitcom that teaches people English. It's called Wall Street English. It's one of the top ways that people learn English in China, believe it or not.
Wow.
That's awesome. And are you here on the vendor floor at all?
We're walking the floor right now.
Okay.
We're just walking the floor, spending some time here, meeting some interesting people. So it's a fun day. A
Awesome.
little wet, but we just got here, so we just started. You're the first.
So if they happen to not see you walking around, how can individuals here see some of the work that you do?
You can go to euxmedia.com oreux.media. It'll take you right there. You can see some of our amazing educational projects. We're sort of known as the company of impossible projects. So
Awesome.
we did a project in 38 different languages, covered 98% of the global markets for nurse educators. And we're currently doing Connections Academy videos, kids teaching kids, doing thousands of videos there. So that's kind of our bag. The UX Media, check us out. We're really cool, nice people to work with, really smart, and from soup to nuts.
Awesome. Well, thank you for stopping in and being one of our voices of ISTE. We're going to leave the mic open. We have about 5 more minutes before our next interview. If anyone would love to jump on to share some of their exciting adventures here from ISTE this week and share some of the work we do, you can just put it down if people are waiting for you. You don't have to be our van of white of microphones, and that's fine too.
I can be that.
All right.
You can do that?
Right
I
this
tried
way.
doing this
Right
before.
this way.
Go in the hot seat.
Oh boy, now he's putting me over in the hot
Go in the
seat.
hot seat.
So we'll wrap up with me. Jen is looking for you. She's just here. Jen Leva. She's saying some great things about your book on here.
Okay, so I'd like to welcome at this moment.
All right, we're going to do Hal real quick, and then I'll end it with me.
Okay.
So you got 2 minutes,
Sounds good.
Hal. Tell us a little bit about Robotico and the work with you and Marty the Robot.
Hi everyone, Hal Speed here, head of North America for Robotical. We're a Scottish-based company. We have a little humanoid robot. It walks, it dances, it talks. It actually can talk in multiple languages, so multilingual. But it teaches coding, and we have block-based coding for pre-readers with pictures and icons. We have traditional blocks with text and words. Even for students as young as 4 and 5, we can do programming just using color cards.
So where can people find you if they want to come see this?
Yeah, so we're in the exhibit hall, 2561, and then we're also online, of course, robotical.io, and you can see all of our hundreds of free lesson materials across the K-8 bands aligned with the ISTE standards and CSTA standards, and then we also do Python for high school.
Oh, that's great. Thanks for stopping by and sharing. Go visit if you're here. Check out online if you're not.
Thanks so much.
You're very welcome.
Awesome. Glad you can make it work. It's definitely some of the work that I promote. So this is it. You have your last question, because then we have our next interview who is waiting patiently, listening to this nonsense. So what do you got for us?
I know you're meeting a lot of wonderful people, and I know you're having a lot of really powerful opportunities and engagements. So far from this ISTE 2023, what's your biggest takeaway?
My biggest takeaway is there are so many impactful educators doing work in the field that we have to continue to share and amplify their voices. There's so many opportunities to do that at events like this, online, through webinars. Before we came to ISTE, we had about 150 people sign up just for a get-together. I think you joined for a little bit as well. And I think we have to work harder to put we over me and finding a way to amplify each person here, no matter what their role is. And I remember, when I learned this really through being a principal, that everybody that walked through the door had a purpose for being there, no matter what the role. Just because my name was on the door didn't make me any more important. Just because you have 10 sessions versus a person who's here only for 1 day to visit, everyone has a purpose in this field, and that's my biggest takeaway. I've met so many impactful people that I can't wait to learn more about each and every one of them.
That's a great answer, and you're doing a lot of great stuff here, so thank you very much. Now come back over here.
All right, I'm going to come back and shut it down. Thank you.
I'll give you some time.
Now back on the other side. We're going to close this down, get ready for our next guest. I'm psyched to just go open mic for a bit and get a chance to meet some voices of ISTE.